ReptiChip sets new standards for reptile substrates. Made from the highest quality coconut available anywhere in the world, our products allow enthusiasts to provide their reptiles with the necessary humidity and thermoregulation required to allow their animals to thrive. In the world of reptile care, the substrate forms the very foundation of a healthy and vibrant habitat. At ReptiChip, we've taken this essential element and elevated it to unparalleled heights, blending innovation with sustainability to create a product that stands in a league of its own. Our journey began with a simple yet profound motto: all of our products are made by reptile people, for reptile people.
Listen, guys, you've never seen reptile enclosures like this. ReptiChip just changed the game again. The #1 cocoa substrate brand in the country isn't just bedding anymore. They've stepped into enclosures and they're doing it big. I mean, we're talking PVC cages framed in anodized aluminum with glass so clear it's gonna look like your reptile is living in 4K. This is how your setup should have looked years ago. Just check out these features. It's aluminum framed, it's rust proof, it's built like a tank. It's got tool-free corners, so you'll be able to set it up in minutes. Replaceable panels, so you could upgrade at any time. It's got smooth tempered glass, it's scratch resistant, so it's gonna be clear as hell. They have heavy-duty screens for heat and airflow. They have a deep, bioactive ready base. And yeah, they come in different colors too. How does that grab you? And they're perfect for snakes, lizards, and just about everything in between. And because the Fatman Nation is one big happy family, the first 10 people who buy one of these new enclosures using the code FATMAN10 at checkout will get free shipping and 2 free bags of 36-ounce ready-to-use ReptiChip. That's over $70 in free gear. I already bought one and it's on the way. But Fat Man, I thought you don't keep a lot of reptiles anymore. Well, I do now. What am I getting? You'll find that out in an upcoming video. But this ain't about me. 10 spots. That's it. Don't wait. Grab yours now or you'll wish you did. Head on over to ReptiChip.com now and pick yourself up one of these badass new enclosures and get free shipping and 2 free 36-ounce bags of ready-to-use ReptiChip when you enter FATMAN10 at checkout. Thanks for watching, guys. Oh, I'm small. Hold on. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, God, I don't even know how to work the show. Yeah, commercials, nothing but commercials on the Fatman Nation. It's been a busy week this week. Gonna have some more commercials for you next year. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for coming by, everybody. It's been one of those weeks. We announced that we're going to Canada last week on Adam's show, Proper Cup of Joe. So myself, Adam, Fear the Fascination, Paul from Large Marge, and Kevin from Sugar Skull will be heading up to the Canadian Reptile Breeders Expo on September 13th and 14th. So stop by. We're going to be hanging out with Gerald and Crystal from VIP Morphs and Gecko Diva, respectfully. Adam Wickens is going to be there, I think. Billy from Mutation Creations. Mark Mandic is coming by. We even got the invite to stop by Mark Mandic's house on the way there so he could cook for us. So pretty excited about that. Just so you guys know, listen, this episode is brought to you by Redline. Also, Redline shipping is really the best way to ship your reptiles. I think that everybody knows that. They actually have a number that you could call if there's ever a problem with actual people that you could talk to. It's not just email and voice prompts and everything else. Best service in the fucking business. Best customer service, best delivery. They go above and beyond. Anybody says that it's just that they can't go on the trucks, they're wrong, because we had a problem where Redline actually got a FedEx guy to go on a truck and find our package for us. So they go above and beyond. Use the code, let's see, Robin60. You get 60% off whatever price your reptile is. And they're getting close now, right? So, and then if you use the code Fatman5, you'll get an additional $5 off. And that's all I got to say about that. So tonight, we have very cool people on. We have Robert Mendez on from Big Worm Exotics, who I met at last year's SCRE show. And then we have Filomena Wright. I'm not even going to try to say a middle name because I'll fuck it up. It's some Italian thing. But and she's like a big venomous hotshot down in Florida. And she doesn't think she is, but little does she know that that's what makes her a fucking hotshot, right? So, yeah, we got a lot of things going on. So, if you like what you see here, want to support the channel, go to patreon.com/thefatman Nation, and you'll get a bunch of behind-the-scenes video and exclusive video there with series like Storytellers, stories like Shitting On, where I shit on different ball python genes, conversations with Donato. We got a bunch of cool shit there. If you like what you see here and you could support being part of a hobby, but like just recognizing the ridiculousness that goes into the hobby, then you'll like our page. Okay, you'll like our Patreon page. It's definitely worth it. It's definitely fun. If you look, I feel like I'm begging for money now. If you like what you see here on this show, throw a super chat if you have questions for Robert or Filomena, and we'll get them up on the air. Plus that super chat money, that killer super chat money that allows me to get 6 cups of coffee every month, will go to good hands. It'll help us party at Timmy Hortons in Canada. So, all right, we got the lovely Shauna backstage, fucking killing it again. Shauna, who's here tonight? Fucking Sammy Vargas. All right, let's leave it on Sammy for a minute because we got to give Sammy a shout outs. Not only did Sammy drive hours and hours to help us out with the Operation Deeds Not Words campaign that we raised over $7,000 for disabled vets, by the way. Sammy was a huge part of that. And Sammy is coming with us to Camp Freedom this month to drop off the big old check. And Sammy's coming to Canada with us. So watch out, Canada. Sammy Vargas on the way, baby. That's all I'm saying. Nicest guy in the hobby. All right, who else we got here? Blind Mike. What's up, Blind Mike? Fucking, how you doing? I'm going to make the same joke as I make every week. It took you an hour and a half to type that. I appreciate it. Jay, who's my partner in the Deeds Not Words campaign, and me and Jay are going to be doing a lot of shit together in the next year or two. So Jay from Green Line Morphs, always killing it. Paul, my boy, me and Paul have gotten thousands of miles of fucking road time together this year, and I appreciate you, Paul, who's also helped out tremendously with the Deeds Not Words campaign. HJS also, They've driven hours to help us out and help us sell shirts at these shows for nothing. We didn't give them anything. It was just to raise money for disabled vets. So thank you, Rich and Sarah. We appreciate you guys. Kevin, listen, he's done the same thing. Kevin was with us on every trip but one also. Kevin just killing it with us with the Deeds Not Words campaign. Kevin's going to be coming to Canada with us. Sing with Large March. Maybe if we could get HJS to come, they'll come too. Big Homie Breakdown. What's up, Sean? How you doing, brother? Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. Python Prince. Okay. Let's see. He's in the 15 Minutes of Lane contest this year, and he's killing it on the reels. Okay. Just killing it already on the reels. I appreciate you, Blake. 666 Serpents. What's up, brother? Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you guys all the time. I hope you guys know that. And let's see. Who else is here? Dickie Foster, best name in the hobby. What's up, Dickie? How you doing, brother? Thank you for stopping by. Let's see. Who else? More Forge. Fucking look, 3 for the price of 1. Okay. Love More Forge. They're one of the best new podcasts out there right now. If you get a chance, be on More Forge. You know that you're somebody. Look at that. Boom. Super chat. Love it. Thank you, More Forge. I appreciate you guys. All right. So we'll end it with them, I think. What we're going to do now is I'm very excited because I'm bringing on Big Worm. Okay. Big Worm. All right. See, I told you I would do it. Right. Anyway, Big Worm Genetics is coming on a segment that's sponsored by this gentleman right here.
The ball python industry has never been more complex, but managing your collection, it's about to get a whole lot easier with Clutch. Created by Canova, Clutch is the cloud-based platform designed to streamline your entire collection management. From creating and searching your inventory to visualizing your breeding projects with powerful analytics, Clutch does it all. Track your clutches with a virtual incubator, connect customers with the perfect animal using an amazing waitlist system, and easily print labels for your shows and facility. It's that simple. You already know Canova for exceptional ball pythons. Now they're making ball python management just as exceptional. Visit cltch.io today and make your ball python road easier to navigate.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Snakes in the Fatman proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame!
What's up, guys? It's Justin at Canova. For the past 5 years, 15 Minutes of Lame has become a launch pad for so many new successful breeders and a badge of honor in this industry. It's been so amazing to watch the passion and dedication you guys have and to watch your businesses grow. Just remember, the next me might be you.
15 Minutes of Lame!
Well, look who I have here. What's up, Robert Mendez from Big Worm? Right?
What's up? How's it going?
Good, brother. How you doing, man?
Doing great. Excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. We met last year at Bob's show, right?
Yeah, correct.
And you had your kid with you when we asked you to be on 15 Minutes, and I was like, make sure your kid doesn't
it's so funny. She's been watching them with me all day, so she loves it. My kids are they're used to everything. I don't hide them from anything.
Yeah, I had like a 9-year-old come up to me one time, and he's like, "You're my favorite," and I'm like, "Tell your father that he's the worst dad on the fucking planet, man. Like, fucking, you should not be listening to me." But I was hanging out with a kid at Gettysburg last time, and I got to tell you, pretty cool kid. Normally, I don't like the kids. Like, the kids are just, me. They're all about them. I'll give a shit about a kid when the kid asks me how my day is going, okay? So instead, I got to ask him how his, fuck that. Anyway, Big Worm, you know how this works, right? We're going to put 15 minutes on the clock. You're gonna pimp your shit, and we'll just take it from there. So right off the bat, I met you, and you were doing a photo booth. Do you actually breed ball pythons?
I do breed ball pythons, and shoot, I work all the time. So I actually just retired from UPS to start a new venture, and I started the photo booth company 7 years ago. So I've been doing UPS in the photo booth for the last, I was UPS over 20 years, and then the photo booth for 7. And all I do is work. But you saw, like, I had my kids. I get my kids involved with everything. Like, my kids are involved with the snake breeding. My daughter was at the show with me that day, running the booth. She was actually taking the pictures. So I try to incorporate my family as much as I can.
Well, also, like, why have the kids, right? If they're not going to help
exactly.
You know, I mean, you got free labor right there. But now, as far as ball pythons go, what were you like? Man, I just got too much money in my pocket working for UPS and having this other business. I want to get into ball pythons, maybe throw some of that shit away a little bit. What made you get into that?
So I've had snakes my entire life. I grew up in Tampa, and my dad and my uncles were crazy about snakes growing up. They actually used to catch snakes and sell them to a distributor in Tampa, Joe Fossey. And back in the day,
I know Joe. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so, I mean, I just have been around snakes my whole life. So, obviously I brought animals, snakes and stuff into my house. Now my kids are all about it. We bought our first.
Whoa. What did you think this was going to happen and I wasn't going to notice? You got notes there that you're reading from?
No. I don't want to miss some things because I know you're going to ask me some questions. In my brain, I'm ADD as shit. So I don't want to miss something.
Dude, don't worry. You're on a dick and fart joke podcast. Like, if this podcast was in a physical place, it would be in a strip mall somewhere. So don't worry about it. But why did you what got you into it? What were you like, man, I saw this and I saw that there could be money in it. Let me see if I can do the ball python thing.
It had nothing to do with the money. It really had to do, I love snakes, and I always thought it would be really cool to breed snakes. So, just me and my kids and my wife, you can see she's always videoing my lives and stuff when I post lives, like with egg cuttings, things like that. So we kind of just do this together. It's not about the money. It's just, we love the snakes.
Well, see, I disagree with people when they say that, because I'm thinking, if like all these people that are like, oh, I love the snakes. Like, how many people do you know with just one ball python, right? None.
Yeah.
None. You don't know anybody with just one, okay? Everybody's buying 10 of them because they want to breed at some point and they want to sell them at some point.
Oh,
so are you like project specific?
I am.
Normal because you love them so much.
Well, I mean, I'm just like everybody else. I got into this and I bought a bunch of shit because I thought it was pretty. And I was like, my first snake was a banana ball python. And I think my first female was a Inchy pastel, yellow belly, Mojave.
Right.
So, I started there. I had my first clutch with that female, and then it was like, okay, it's time to do so. Like that was when it got real. Like at first it was just for fun, and then it's like, fuck, I got 8 babies. What am I gonna do with these? And then it's like, I got to feed these things. So it's like, that's when, I was like, okay, I got to find somebody to sell these to. And then reached out to a bunch of local pet stores. I sold my first 2 clutches last year to just a local pet store.
Well, that's, you're in Florida?
No, I'm in Georgia.
You're actually in Georgia. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, dude, I was just going to say the same thing. I mean, this guy got to be successful with what he does, because he actually has like a nice setup, like this is very unlike what I normally do. Normally I'm interviewing a guy on a cum-stained couch, and living. Yeah. So this I got two very prominent guests tonight, so I'm gonna be a little off. So
this actually was a gaming room that I built for my son. And
I figured that from the controller.
Yeah, the controller on the roof. I got LED lights I put up for him, and then we have a projector downstairs, and he lives in that room playing Fortnite, just that's clicking away.
That's the way it goes.
This is the snake room now.
Oh, of course. All right. How much money would you say you dumped into this over the course of time that you've been doing it?
So I was adding everything up. I got about $7,000 in it. So I'm not.
Oh, that ain't bad at all, dude.
It's not bad. I mean, Morph Market has kind of changed the game as being able to get into some nicer stuff for a decent price with the auction.
Yeah.
But I mean, so with DIY rack right here for all my females. I got a sea serpent rack right here, and then I actually bought a vision rack, but everything was used. I didn't buy anything new. So I've kind of gone about this, I think, in a smart way, because when I got into it and I was dumping money on these normal snakes, I was actually like the first probably 10 snakes I bought were the most expensive snakes, and they're probably the least valuable snakes I own, because you're buying them from pet stores or buying them from, just, I don't know. I didn't really know at that point.
Right. Well, how long have you been doing this? Like doing it for a profit?
2 years. So last year was my first 2 clutches. This year we got 6 clutches.
Okay. All right. And what are big projects that you're working on? So
this year was Desert Ghost Pied is in the incubator right now. Well, we're hoping we got a DG het pied male and then a pied het DG female. She gave us 8 eggs. So we're hoping to get the double visual there. I got a big leopard Desert Ghost female that I bred to the same Desert Ghost male. So we got 10 eggs from her. Those are going to be my little bit higher end snakes. The rest, we were working with, let's say Confusion. I mean, a bunch of dominant genes. So the other ones are, we got some really nice pied stuff this year too. And I think my focus is going to go towards pied stuff.
Well,
so I feel like that's easier to get rid of.
Confusion and pieds are what I would get now, if I were to do this again. So I totally get that part. How much money do you think that you've made back from those 2 clutches?
So those 2 clutches I sold last year was $1,500.
Okay.
So and then right now I'm downsizing. I got a couple that are getting into the ball python breeding game right now, and then I'm hoping to clean house on a lot of these snakes, and they're ready to buy too. They're eager, so they're coming over tomorrow. So
nice.
I'll be about 10 plus snakes lighter.
Okay. So would you say Morph Market has been your primary way to sell it, or are you a show guy? Do you set up at shows?
So I haven't done any shows yet. My primary source of sales has been just Facebook and local pet shops around here. Okay. I just set up my Morph Market account. I listed I think 25 babies on there this week.
Right. Any hits on them yet?
Yeah, I got a couple. I mean, I think I got a couple spam hits. I don't know if there's what do they call it? Just like fraud stuff going on Morph Market, but I got a couple that sent me like information and it's like, I want the snake, and then you reach back out to them and they ghost you. Maybe that's normal. I don't know.
It is normal, but in Morph Market's defense, you can never get rid of all the spam,
Yeah, 100%.
A little bit of it. But it's good that you're like hawking snakes on Facebook and local pet shops, because that's the thing to do right now.
Man, it's nice, yeah.
All right, so let's talk sponsors for a little bit. I'm going to ask you right off the bat, have you ever bought a snake from Justin?
So not directly from Justin, but I do have a pinstripe pod hit DG that I bought from a breeder that bought it from Justin.
So third party.
Third party.
So you didn't help Justin out at all. So Justin gives you a big old FU. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Now, second of all, do you use clutch to maintain the the husbandry with everybody?
No, I have husbandry pro.
Justin's one of the nicest guys in the hobby, but he's just gave you 2 FUs. Okay.
I can't wait to meet him.
Yeah, you're in the same state, dude.
I know. He's literally 45 minutes from me, and I still haven't met him. But I'm really good friends with Bob. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, have you ever? Well, you already said you did. You got a rack from Sea Serpents?
Yep, right here.
Chris Nettles, who I was just with last week, does not give you an FU. Okay. I'm going to ask because I have to. Have you ever been to a Herps reptile show?
I have not.
Sean and Lori Gray, big old FU, the big worm. Okay. Have you shipped a snake yet?
I haven't shipped any yet, but when I do, I will use Redline. I've heard the best about them.
That's what I want to hear. Yep. Robin does not give you a fuck you. Okay. Have you shed tested anything yet?
Haven't shed tested, but we will with this clutch, this DG clutch, because we got het pied in there. So I got to figure out which ones are going to be het pied or not. So
woulda, coulda, shoulda. Charlie gives you a big old FU. Okay.
Yeah, it's coming though.
Have you ever bought a snake from Aura?
No.
Patrick is just like, fuck this guy. All right. All right. Have you ever bought an animal or an enclosure from Recoil Reptiles?
I have not.
Fuck. Alan gives you you're doing horrible at this.
Horrible.
Let's see. Who else is left? Oh, have you ever went on Show Me Marketplace and tried to sell any of your stuff there?
I've been on there. I have an account, but I haven't posted anything yet.
All right, you have an account though.
Yeah.
Mickey does not give you a big old FU. Okay. Let's see. Who else is left here?
Are you not ReptiChip anymore?
I'm ReptiChip solid, brother. Okay. Do you use ReptiChip? Oh, I didn't even see that.
I got it set up in the background for you.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. Buy one of their new enclosures. They're fucking awesome. And you get 2 free bags of ReptiChip if you get it, and free shipping. So go check out their enclosures. It's awesome. So now I know that you don't watch this show. Okay. So I know you watched a bunch of them today.
That's not true. I've been watching them. them.
Okay. All right.
I don't ever catch them live because I'm busy.
That's okay. Yeah. No, that's okay. Are you going to run in the 15 minutes contest this year?
I do. Yeah, I want to, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. All right.
So I wanted to do something kind of fun, and I should have asked you about this a little while ago, but if we can get you some super chat money, can we do a giveaway? I have a lot of really nice snakes that I've bred this year. And
let me tell you something. This is how awesome I am. We don't got to get any super chat money, and you could do a good giveaway. Announce the giveaway.
Well, so if we can get him some super chats, I know he doesn't want the super chats, but I know the money's going to go towards something good. So I'd like to I'm going to post everything on my Morph Market page. And I'd like to give away. So I'd like to give a snake away. So you can see I have 3 more clutches in the incubator right now. So if you want to wait, I think my last clutch is going to be cut in August. I'll have an update on everything, but you can go on my Morph Market now. All I'll ask is you pay for shipping, but I'll give you the snake for free. So I'm going to let Chris pick out of the chats tonight, or whoever gives the biggest super chat. I'll let them pick out of any of those snakes that are listed on my Morph Market, or if they want to reach out to me directly, I can send them a list of what I got available. And I like to give away a snake just to help you out.
That's fair enough as it is. However, okay, I once yelled at a guy for trying to do that during the contest to get votes. So
I'm not trying to get votes.
Can't give away a snake to get votes, but you could totally give away a snake on this show. And yeah, I will definitely pick it out. Yeah. So thank you. That's fun.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome.
I appreciate you even doing that. So definitely Big Worm, keep an eye out on his Morph Market account. All right. You're gonna see. Well, no, I'm not even gonna ask that because you don't have time. How can people get in touch with you?
You can look us up just Big Worm 23, Big Worm Genetics 23 on Instagram.
All right, I was gonna say no one gives a shit what happens after the timer runs out, but Big Worm Genetics on Instagram, right?
Instagram, yeah. You can find us on Marketplace too, or not Marketplace, but Morph Market.
Yeah, Marketplace. Yeah. I don't trust Marketplace. That's like fucking. That's like just giving away your fucking address to the open internet and hoping nobody.
Great deals though. You find good deals on used reptile equipment.
Yeah, I guess, but there's no way. All right, fucking Rob, thank you for doing this, man. I appreciate you.
No problem, man. I really appreciate you and having me on. This is awesome.
No, this was a great time. So thank you. I appreciate you. I'll be in touch with you in a couple of days. We'll figure that thing out, okay?
Sounds good. Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
All right, everybody. Robert Mendez, Big Worm. All right,
let's go.
Exotics. All right, brother. I'll take it easy, man.
See you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, making the Batman proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame!
Have you been to a reptile show recently? Hundreds of vendors, thousands of animals, and an average of less than 20% of those vendors making any money at all. Have you been to Morph Market recently? There are currently over 40,000 ball pythons for sale on the Double M, with many animals staying there for months, sometimes years at a time. In this insanely competitive marketplace, what are you going to do to stand out? I'll tell you what the you're going to do. Aura Reptiles offer premier consultation services on everything from breeding plans to current market trends. Patrick McKnight has been one of the most successful mainstays in the ball python hobby for the past 15 years and can assist you with pairings, marketing plans, and advertising. Be smart enough to know what you don't know. Then learn about it from Aura Reptiles. Check them out on Instagram at Aura Reptiles and get in touch with Patrick McKnight today. Get in the f***ing game.
Look at this.
Hey.
I don't only bring up hot badasses on the Sunday show. That's what everybody's thinking right now. They're like, what the fuck? There's a woman on Chris's fucking main show? Yes, there is. Okay. The first woman I had on since Brittany Gobble. So everybody, this is Filomena Wright.
Hey, everyone. It's Filomena.
Filomena.
Mena, but everyone says Filomena. Filomena's great. Thank you for having me, Chris. I love the energy, the music. It's just very exciting. I love the segment with Robert also. Thanks for having me.
That's funny. And nobody's ever said, look at that, the energy that's coming from Chris's show. Like nobody. Literally, you're the first person. Yeah.
It's high energy. I like it.
Yeah. Normally I have the problem like nobody thinks like they either love me or they fucking hate me, right? So it's usually either like, oh, Chris is awesome, man. He does a lot of cool shit. Or fuck that fat fuck. You know, I hate him, right? Nobody ever says like, Chris, yeah, he's okay. You know? So thank you for at least getting into that area. Listen, why aren't you more known in the whole reptile hobby? I don't get it. Shauna came to me and said, like, you got to get this woman, Filomena?
Filomena works. Don't worry. Filomena's fine.
You got to get Filomena on. And I was like, well, who is she? And then I did some research into you. And I'm like, holy shit. Like this woman's worked for Crutchfield, or she's trained under Crutchfield, right? She's going out in Florida, doing all these badass things with snakes that could kill her. Like, why? Like, have you purposely just kept like a low profile?
So listen, this whole thing happened surely by accident because I love, I'm a hiker. I'm an outdoors person. I do everything in my flip-flops. I get a lot of shit for that, but I do everything in my flip-flops. I cruise the Everglades. I lived in Oregon. I hiked, there. I grew up in Texas. I hiked there. And when I got here, I was like, I want to herp. I started researching where can, we're right here, the Everglades. They're freaking amazing. It is a unique ecosystem. This is the only place in the world. It's not a swamp. It is the Everglades. It's different, and I just started exploring, researching because there's a mass variety of non-native, not necessarily invasive, non-native species, and I wanted to see them. And so I started kind of researching. If you go to this area, you can see this, you see that area, go to that area, you see that. And I just started hiking all over Florida, and it just kind of blew up. I started a herping group. I was like, I want to go in person. My girls were going with their friends. And I said, I'm going to start a herping group. And I made a post in one of the Florida pages on Facebook. And it just went bonkers because we were, seeing all the amazing wildlife, the snakes that we have here that are native to Florida, plus, of course, pythons and other stuff. And that page just went crazy and ended up with like 40 something thousand followers. The name of the group is Snake Hookers Catching Herps. So, yeah, and it went crazy. And that's where the whole thing just took off, and of course, Tom and Ray. Ray's my mentor. Tom's my mentor. I mentored on their property. Those are both really big names. And it's really all thanks to Tom that I even had that opportunity. So, he kind of interviewed me and went from there and said, sure. But next year, you got to meet with Ray, see what he says. And Ray said, sure. And so I started doing Venomous mentoring and there it went. So.
Well, normally, just so you know, I'm very against herping. Okay, very, very against it because like you got this animal that's like hiding probably for like 3 days in his favorite spot, right? Just waiting for a rat to come along or a gerbil or whatever the fuck you guys have there. And the next thing you know, some big dumb gorilla plucks him out of where he's hiding just to take a picture for the gram. And then even if you put him back, that little snake got to find a whole new. Like you fucked up his favorite area,
Yeah. Listen, I can't disagree. And herping does not always mean touching. You can probably hear my bird, my baby Guapo. He hears my voice. He's screaming in the background. I apologize. It doesn't always require touching. So herping, we observe them in nature too. And that's part of the beauty of it is just to see native animals in their native terrain doing their amazing thing. But we also have a lot of really cool. I'd literally have to travel the world over to see what I have seen just in Florida because there's so many non-native. Yes, just in my backyard.
Yeah, so. I mean, that's actually a cool part. I'm into herping if you're not touching them. If you're taking a picture, I'm okay with that. All right, yes. But if you're like, now, look at it,
I have touched. I've touched many, but I also just observed many.
Oh man. Man, somebody's going to clip that clip with my audience, just so you know, right? They're going to be like, oh, Filomena touches snakes. Okay.
Well, listen, unsurprisingly, you would not, I get that comment all the time. First, everyone either thinks that it's a man's page, and they're like, hey, dude, whatever. Right. Or if they know it's a female, I get all the shit comments. So no, don't worry. I can hack it.
No, I get it. And that's why it was cool because when I was trying to learn stuff about you, I was like, all right, we could either talk or we'll just figure it out. And then Filomena left me like 9 Facebook 6-minute messages apiece, right? And I was like, holy shit, like I know everything. I know we're good. I think we can handle an hour, so we'll be okay. But how was training under Crutchfield, right? Because that got to be, I mean, what people see now isn't the Crutchfield that like I grew up with. You know, the a little bit younger, a little bit faster, a little bit more in shape and everything. And how was it training under him? Were you just like you're gonna make sure that this guy still has it? Okay. Or did you just like hear the name and then watch him once and know that he still has it? Because he still has it for a dude that's like 111 years old. He
absolutely does.
Killing it. Yeah.
I will tell you, even with Ray and, either of those gentlemen, and Tom, Tom especially, because his, his expertise spans the entire reptile industry, across, lizards, snakes, just turtles, tortoises, all of it. I just honestly listen because I consider it like an education. It's an opportunity, and I'm there to learn. And, he's very, very near and dear to me. I love him and his family very much. Same with Ray. Ray and I are very, very close. We've spent a ridiculous amount of time together, all of us doing, on extraction Saturdays and just all of it. And I like to just listen, and I think one thing Tom appreciates is like intelligent conversation, as far as like anytime I see like two great reptile experts come together, like Tom and Ray, or Tom and anybody else, that met many amazing individuals at Tom's property, and I just listen to their conversation, and I learn. I call it by osmosis, just trying to absorb it all in their presence. It's very impressive, the amount of information, and I'm telling you, he has traveled the world over. If you listen to some of Tom's stories, and he still remembers like the crazy pronunciation of this minuscule island off the coast of, wherever, all of it. And he still remembers, I caught this snake one time, we went on to the minutia of detail. So it's amazing.
He actually did a storytellers with me where we talk to some of the original guys and just have them tell stories. And Tom was incredible. So like being in a room, like I can't even imagine being in a room with him and like Robin Markland, or one of the other guys that have been in this forever. And it kind of aggravates me a little bit, because I don't know how deep you are on social media, but when people are people are shitting on this guy. The younger people are shitting on this guy, saying, I heard that he smuggled whatever. I heard he went to jail. Yeah, half the fucking animals that these people keep wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Tom.
Yeah, and here's my take on that. And for the younger generation, I have 3 daughters. I'm not the same person today that I was even 2 years ago, much less 10, 20, 30. So I apologize for Guapo.
No, you can barely hear him. It's okay.
So I say that because, his own philosophy has changed. Now he's like, they're sentient, they learn, they bond, so that his own philosophy has changed. And for anyone to not allow for the possibility that someone could have growth in their life, whether it's their mentality, philosophy, whatever. I'm really big, like I take it like this. This is my opinion. There's 2 types of people in this world. People with fixed mindset that are like, this is how I am, or that is, and that's just how it's always going to be. And then people that have a growth mindset, which is, every day is an opportunity to learn. I'm going to try to do better tomorrow than I did yesterday, et cetera, et cetera. And Tom's a growth mindset person, and he's not the same today as he was all those years ago. And so judge him if you will. It's not going to affect him at all. It's just like, all the crap I get online too. It's not going to affect me. I don't care. We are who we are, and our journey is our own, our path and our. So
I just hate when I see like dudes that are like 25, 30, 35, like talking shit on this guy when, like, I'll tell you what, you have an 8-foot crocodile monitor come up to me and let me touch it in its mouth, and then I'll show you.
I have fed Bill. I have fed it. He's taken eggs out of my hand. He really is that docile. And that's the thing. That 25-year-old, interview him 10, 15 years from now, his mindset will have changed. Hopefully, you know. So
hopefully is right. How now? Crutchfield just got a new place, right?
Yeah.
Have you been to the new place?
I have been there. Yeah, he's out in Sebring. He's just now getting his animals, you know, situated. He had to do some work, build some fencing, some enclosures. So he's just now getting all of his animals back. He has a venom room. It's spectacular. I think he's posted it if any of you guys follow him. It's got like magnificent lighting, hardwood floors. It's really snazzy as far as venom rooms go. He's got his Gila monsters there now, and in his beaded dragons. Sorry, I said that. I combined it. The beaded lizards.
Said beef dragons.
Yeah, I said beaded. So I combined it because I combined bearded and beaded with dragons and lizards. But at any rate, those are back. His venomous reptiles are, and of course he has Roscoe and Rita are back. Those are his. Cyclura, you guys, the rock iguanas, they're back. Those are not venomous, but he's got a nice enclosure in the backyard and all that. So he's getting back to, you know,
what
his
made
love.
you want to do the venomous? I mean, you know they could kill you, right?
Say it one more time. I apologize.
I said, what made you decide to do venomous? Like, because you do know that they could kill you, right?
Yeah. So how that all came about is because, you know, I love Florida, and I, you know, in road cruising, herping, hiking, any of that stuff was just like one after another, like DOR, dead on the road, just dead snakes, just all the time. And I was like, you know, I want to start doing relocation. You know, and in order to even relocate, you know, the snakes most people panic about are the venomous ones. You know, oh my God, a rattlesnake, or a colorful snake. It's got to be a coral, you know, whether it is or not. And I wanted to be able to relocate them, but Florida has really strict venom laws for handling, transporting, owning any of it, and you require licensing for that. And so I reached out to Tom and was like, hey, you know, and that's how that whole thing started. Was just basically my love of the native wildlife and being able to rescue those guys. So, and then
were you surprised at what it took, like what you had to know to
I truly was
that part of it? Yeah.
I grew up in Texas. In Texas, you get like the equivalent to like a hunting license. Knock yourself out, you know, go have fun. So it's like, you know, a few bucks at the Walmart or whatever. Or now it's online, but at any rate, so I was very surprised, but I was also kind of, you know, committed to it. And then once I started doing it, I was more and more intrigued. I started learning about, you know, like the Dvornay gland and the composition of venom and all that stuff. And it really kind of blew my mind. And I kind of geek out on it. That's where I was saying I really love the conversations with Ray. And then just the whole venom community. So many just intelligent, articulate people with a ton of history. You know, George Van Horn, he's an icon, as well as, you know, Carl Barden, Jack Vicente. I really have had the privilege of learning from each of those gentlemen. They've all mentored me in one way or another. And there's like, I don't even know, 150, 170 years of experience between them. George alone has been at his facility 53 years, you know. And
just so you know, you're naming names that most ball python people have never heard of. Okay.
Wow. They're just
sad, right? It's sad.
No,
it's sad.
No, I mean, it's not. Each industry has its own, you know, like icons, lingo, niches, you know. But yeah,
that now we have a gentleman here called Blind Mike Duval. And I want to answer his question because it probably took him 30 minutes to type that. Okay. So, because, you know, he can't see the keyboard, you know.
Well, you're going to have to read it because I can't, without like leaning in super close. I'm not going to be able to read it.
Did you ever interact with May May?
I did. I actually held May May, and I actually have a real or photos on my personal Instagram is feeling all right. My last name is Wright, Wright, and probably on the snake hookers also. I usually cross post on both accounts. And I did, and she is or was very heavy. That is the one thing I recall. Now let me tell you, one time I was there when Tom was feeding her, and he had Dove, and he tossed it in. We had been watching. We're like, oh, she's gorgeous. You know, we're filming and just looking at her. And boy, let me tell you, when he threw the chick in, she just went, I mean, she was spring loaded, just snatched her right out of midair and pulled her back down. And that image is ingrained in I mean, it's just like, I can't even snap as fast as that happened. And she was very heavy. And that's one thing I always mention, you know, like I realize like I need to work on my arm strength because when you're holding even some of the Eastern Diamondbacks, you know, like I'm like, holy crap, you know, I need to. So I have these little 3-pounders that I try to like work my arms out with because you have to have that strength to support them. But Tom could hold her and she was super chill. And I remember when she died and he was devastated, you know, so she was his favorite and his baby. So, yeah.
Well, and just so people know, you're licensed for what? For Lapids now, but
Dilapidate only, and I have to update. I have to submit more hours for my Viperidae. So, you know, it's a long process. It's 1,000 hours per classification, per category. So I started with Elapidae, obviously, because we were doing the monocle cobras that Tom had like well over 100 of them. And those hours were easy because you're cleaning the bins, you're, you know, doing the medications and tubing and doing, you know, whatever necessary. And then I learned the pinning. So then I was doing the extractions and, you know, and all that stuff. So the bulk of my hours were on Elapidae. And now I'm still working on my Viperidae. So,
how much longer do you have for that?
Listen, if I take the time to sit down and type up my hours, because the documentation's meticulous, I could probably submit it right now. It just takes, I have, you know, where I left off, and I need to go back. I haven't updated that. Ooh, I just realized it's been a year. It's been a year since I have updated my hours on my personal tracker, you know. So I'll need to I could probably submit it. Now that we're talking about it, I'll probably sit down one of these upcoming weekends and do it. So, and submit it so I can get my Viperidae. So,
well, and you're in a state that's notorious for just killing snake after snake after snake, not just on a highway, but you know, I mean, even FWC, you know, we saw last year, they're going in, you know, putting nails in these things' heads. What do you think? Like, as a person that's not really that's in the reptile community, but not really in the grand scheme of things. Like, I can't see you with Tinley hawking snakes. You know, but what do you think?
I attend Daytona every year. Now you're asking me what I think about.
Yes, Daytona. I would imagine that would be fairly, yeah. What do you think it's going to take to just change people's minds on it? Because obviously, what everybody's doing isn't working right now.
So, if I feel like here we are in Florida. We just wrapped up the most recent python hunt. Now, I've caught plenty of pythons. I love them. I have never personally killed a python. I love snakes. I'm not going to do it. I enjoy them. I think they're gorgeous, you know, and I love the just, you know, coming across them. It's a rare opportunity. They're not dropping out of the trees and all over the woodwork like everyone thinks.
Not like you're in Australia. Yeah.
Yes. In Florida, they host these python challenges. In order to why are they trying to get rid of our pythons? Because they're non-native and invasive. Those are the two classifications. Because, like, for example, we have monkeys, the vervet monkeys in Fort Lauderdale, Dania Beach. They're non-native, but not invasive. Burmese python are, because they are decimating the native populations, right, of the other animals.
Right.
That is a valid point. However, if Florida, in my opinion, really cared about restoring the Everglades, I'm going to touch on all kinds of controversial crap right now. I'm just warning you. Okay. They, number one, would not, literally, if I go to, let's say, Everglades National Park, and I see a python, it is illegal to touch that python within the park's boundaries. Outside of the park, I can touch it, but it has to be murdered, right? You can't, you have to. It is the law. If you touch it, you're required by law to kill it. So that's the policy. However, previous to that, people would come from wherever, and they would come and they would collect these pythons, and then they would take them and sell them to whether it's a zoological institute or, some safari or reptile store or whatever. And I feel that now there's like about 100 contractors that the state has to restore the Everglades through the python removal program. And they are the only people that actually receive any income from it. And so and for everybody else, if you don't kill it, it's, you could be fined $500 for touching without killing or whatever. I'm not sure if $500 is accurate, but something to that effect. If they really wanted to remove the pythons, wouldn't they just open it up, same as the iguanas, and say, hey guys, come collect them. Then you can sell them. We don't give a shit what you do. Get them out of our state, get them out of here, But instead they're like, don't touch it, or, you have to kill it. And we're not going to pay you for it. We're only going to pay this group of individuals. However, there's no incentive for anybody to come and remove these pythons anymore. And a lot of people actually lost income when those laws passed. Then, on the same token, they're like, we must restore the Everglades. We're going to have a python hunt. Come from all over, everybody. We need all hands on deck. It's a catastrophe down here. Yet, they took the first ever national preserve in the nation, and they put a detainment camp in it with fluorescent lighting that's on 24 hours a day inside of an international dark sky park, okay? In the midst of panther habitat, there's like 200 in existence. The Florida panther is different from other mountain lion, cougar, puma type animals. So how badly does Florida really want to restore the Everglades, save the native wildlife? Because everything else they're doing is counterproductive to that goal.
Right. Yeah, I have a different take on that. I figure if they could put up a detainment facility in 2 weeks.
Listen,
you could put up a homeless shelter. You could have been doing those.
I will have you know, there is an empty military base in the heart of Miami. In Miami, it's empty. It's a fully operational, full infrastructure, plumbing, lighting, everything that is no longer in use. Could have put a detainment camp there. Now they've paved 20 additional acres of what used to be pristine. All of Florida gets its water from the aquifer below it. So at any rate, now they've paved 20 of those acres in a national preserve on land that it's not even, it was taken from the native tribes, the Miccosukee and the Seminole. Then it was like, oh, now we're going to give it back to you as a reservation. And then in addition to that, they're like, oh, we're going to build a jet port. And so there's just the one landing strip because of the environmental impact survey. And at that point, all construction ceased. So that was such sensitive terrain that planes weren't even, it's a training facility, right? They touch and go. They touch their wheels down and go. Nobody's ever deplaned there, whatever. There's no infrastructure. And now they're expanding the roads on the way in. They've used concrete to pour, for the signs. alligator Alcatraz, all of that without any.
Yeah, first of all, I do want to say, I did not mean to come off sounding critical of Trump. I'm a big Trump fan. Okay, big Trump fan. However, okay, that it's a cool name, right? Like alligator Alcatraz is a cool.
I'm gonna tell you what it really is. It's
rock and
cool
roll.
terrain. It's a cool ecosystem. It's cool terrain. There's cool wildlife, and I've hiked those very. I mean, I caught one of my biggest pythons right down that road. Yes, what used to be called Airport Road. And listen, you know, I'm not even talking politics. I'm just talking about, you know.
Oh, I think you are. I think you are.
The Everglades. I am the daughter. I'm a first generation American. My parents are immigrants. And, you know, of course, they came legally. They are naturalized citizens. But let me tell you this. My mom and dad neither of them were citizens when I was born. They had not become citizens yet.
But it's okay, though. Your grandfather didn't. I mean, not now.
Do some research.
Not now you wouldn't be, but
do some research. It's
but back then you would have been, right? So
I do have now. Yes, I'm an American citizen. I was born in New York, blah blah blah. But I qualify for dual citizenship because my parents were not naturalized citizens at the time. So I have lots of feelings about all of these things, and I'm very passionate about the Everglades and all the wildlife there. So that is, you know, and again, it doesn't matter who you voted for, what you support, whatever, as far as like the immigration stance. I think anyone can get behind the fact that it's, you know, hypocritical and contradictory. What do they call it? Like oxymoron, right? We're going to conserve the Everglades, but pave it, conserve it, but let's pour concrete and put signs.
But realistically, I mean, you guys have been doing that for years because the developers out in Florida don't give a fuck. They don't give a they'll, you know, so I would rather one little jail gets put there than 75 high rises that are, you know.
I would not. And I would rather none of it happen because a lot of the terrain.
Of course.
A lot of the terrain that has been built upon, you know, we had the tortoises were there prior. And back when I first came, one of the first articles that like appalled me was the, you know, developers, because as long as there's no active dens, they can build. So they were pouring concrete into the dens and just killing the tortoises in their home. Of course, the eastern indigo, which is protected and endangered, right? Numbers are really low. We have all these, the Orion Society, all of that. They're trying to reintroduce populations. Those snakes that everyone is so fond of shared the burrows with the gopher tortoise. They took their terrain, the snakes endangered. All of it has a domino effect. All of it does.
Right. No, I agree with you there, but normally, I mean, that's what this country is all about, right? It's like picking the worst of two evils. You know, of course I'd rather them build nothing there. Okay, you know, I hate people.
So in the case where they set aside land and said this will never be built on, it's a national preserve.
Right.
And now they're building on it. So
I get that, but if they found a way to do it, then the state would find a way to do it, and it would be worse with the state because they would build 75 jails instead of just the one, or 75, you know, co-ops or whatever you guys call it down there. It's it's nuts. Florida.
You are correct.
Honestly, I agree with you that Florida got to be a cool place to live because of everything you could see there. But I think that Florida, my overall opinion is it's a shit place to live because of all the things you see down there. Like every dumb crime that you've ever heard of starts with like
Florida man.
They even made a series on Netflix about it. Like it's just
I can't argue that point. I'm not even going to try.
I would just like, I don't think I'm constitutionally capable of being around so many stupid people when it's that hot. You know, like I could see why they're doing it. You know, I saw a guy fucking catch an alligator in a garbage can the other day on TikTok. Like, it's just like it's just a weird place, man. It's just a weird place. But I do enjoy going down for Daytona and all that. But, you know, every year it's the same thing. When I go to Daytona, you walk out of that airport, it's like being kicked in the balls with heat, you know?
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't know how that feels, but.
No. But it's like sympathy pains, like birth pains, right?
Yes. I don't mind the humidity, and I'll tell you what, I would take in my personal, I'm like nuts and drive with the windows down and no AC and all that stuff. My kids are always like, "Oh my God," unless I'm going somewhere where I have to look half decent, and not sweaty, you know. But I will take the humidity over like that dry baking Texas heat any day. That feels like an oven, even in the shade. In Florida, the shade is magnificent. There's a breeze, always by the water, there's a breeze. You know, I don't mind the humidity, but it is what everyone complains about.
It's just the worst. Filomena, do me one favor. We got to just pay some bills here. So give me about a minute or two. I just gotta play these damn commercials.
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, let's see. Which one are we gonna do here? Let's do this one.
Show Me Marketplace is the new online reptile-based selling platform that is both simple and straightforward for both buyers and sellers. More importantly, it was designed specifically for what reptile breeders and keepers have been asking for, a viable alternative for what's currently available in the selling space. No complicated fees, no tiered membership plans. One affordable price gives you access to everything you need, plus unlimited listings from your own Show Me Marketplace store. That's right. More listings, more exposure, and no hidden costs. But that's not all. Sign up today and use code FATMAN-50 at showmereptileshow.com/marketplace and get 50% off your membership. Already a Show Me Show vendor? You'll enjoy an even deeper discount. Building a safe, trusted community is important to us. That's why all sellers go through identity verification to fight fraud and ensure you're working with reputable breeders. It's time to ditch the corporate chaos and get back to what matters. Show Me Marketplace is a true alternative to everything that's out there. So sign up today and join the revolution. Don't be corporate, be punk rock. No matter how old you are. ShowMeReptileShows.com/marketplace.
All right, everybody, listen. You already know this. Herp's best run show circuit in the country, Sean and Lori Gray. Let's see where they're going to be. They're going to be in Corpus Christi, Texas on August 9th and 10th. They're going to be in Taylor, Texas on the 16th and 17th of August. They're going to be in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on August 23rd and 24th. Excuse me. They're going to be in College Station on August 30th and 31st. Then they got the big show over there in Conroe, Texas. That's going to be on September 13th and 14th. And then they're going to be in Stillwater, Oklahoma on September 20th and 21st. Listen, if you haven't been to a herp show, you owe it to yourself to go to this thing. I mean, these guys take care of their vendors. They take care of their people. It's the best running show circuit in the country right now. And go to herpshow.net and check them out. Email Sean and Lori. Tell them what a great job they're doing. All right. Back with Filomena. What's your middle name?
So listen, you asked the name question. I'm gonna give you the whole story. I have four. I got four. My first legal name is Janie, and then it's Filomena Miguelina Wright. I am the only person in my entire family, cousins, everybody, that has an American first name. My dad picked it out of a book. It means genius. He was very hopeful, poor guy. And so my name is Janie Filomena Miguelina Wright.
Yeah. My father was going to name me Joey Big Penis, but my mother told me not to. Listen, I could have been calling you Jane this whole time. And
No,
right?
I hate it because I'm, I'm a first generation American. I love our Italian culture, and I hate it because my married last name was Wright, and so I'm Janie Wright, and I feel like I lose my identity.
Man,
I
your
go
family
by my
probably hated your ex-husband. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
yes.
Yeah, no, you Italians are fucking a little nuts. And I'm Italian. I'm half Italian, but my best friend is named Donato Signore, right?
Yes.
And growing up, his parents were like, just call him Danny. And he was like, don't fucking call me Danny, So I get it. I totally get it.
My little brother will correct people. His name is Felice, my baby brother, and they used to call him Felix, and he's like Felice. He will check him every time. So,
Oh my God. All right, let's talk free handling. Let's talk
all
about
right.
these internet guys that free handle. Let's talk about that moron in North Carolina that got bit by the taipan and then got attacked by his cat. Okay.
I have never had any interactions with him whatsoever. I'm not friends on any social media, but I have feelings about him. So he is, extremely controversial, obviously, and he started his irresponsible handling. The reason I'm so opposed to his content is because he attempts to educate people. And he says, like when he got bit by the taipan,
If you hold it like
if
this,
you hold it like this, it can't bend. Well, it did. And that's why I take issue with that. And the reason, there was another guy, it was some cowboy on a beach somewhere, and he tried to pin a rattlesnake, and he did it multiple times. And that third attempt, it got him, and that one also went viral. That was a couple of years ago as well. And that's why I'm a put now. Have I free handled? I have. And I did it years ago. A friend of mine, Bennett, he has what we would call a docile king, king cobra, and I free handled the king cobra. I do have photos of it. It's on my social media. I would never in my life, while I'm out herping, especially first of all in the Everglades, you don't get cell reception. I've gone out with my daughter in the Mojave. I don't free handle. I'll use a stick or something. You know what I mean? If you don't have a hook, and properly tail, right? The way that you're taught, whatever. Sometimes you can hook them and not have to tail, but whatever. Long story short, I don't free handle. And the individual that let me free handle his king cobra knew that snake, and he gave me in-depth information, about the snake before I did it. And he was comfortable enough, and I trusted him and his information on his snake that he had raised from,
right.
So otherwise I don't just go free handle people's snakes. And the danger of that, so this is what I was saying. Leibowitz started an entire safety is sexy campaign on the internet. And that is still going strong. There's an
I
entire
think
page.
that guy got some balls putting the word sexy in anything that he's involved with.
Now, safety is sexy. It was like the the opposite of what he's, So, in other words, not being safe is not sexy, right? So that he started that entire campaign. I don't even know. I think that there's a Facebook group. It's like 1,000 strong. Rachel Pickstein is behind that. Of course, the Kentucky Reptile Zoo has also, tried to educate on that. And then I will even say, that friend of mine, Bennett, who has done a lot of free handling, has also pulled back on that, and that's when I first started learning Venomous, there's a lot of that. It's just like in your face, when you start kind of exploring the venom community or meeting people, it's out there, it's everywhere. But when you start like training. And you said, oh, it takes big balls, and I feel like it takes the training, the proper training. And so I was fortunate enough, I had Ray as a mentor. Like I said, Carl, Jack, and George, and they all use the proper tools. And then as you expand out into the industry, I attend Venom Week every week. So I do know, I have met a lot of the people in the industry, and safety is a big deal. Now, do I handle like in flip-flops and stuff? Yes. I get shit for that, but like I said, I do everything in my flip-flops. It's a rare occasion that I'm, not in flip. I'm in them right now. Okay. So but I feel that, the free handling, it just makes people think that, oh, I've watched this so many, and they'll probably, let's do it in slow-mo. They watch it, they think they can do it. I observed for 3 months before I ever touched a cobra. And I did an entire year's worth of handling before I ever started to learn pinning, just to pin it. And then I did pinning for I don't even know how long, just pinning, and then Ray would take, for the extraction part. Before I actually started doing extractions, I'm over 3 years in on this now, just on venomous handling and doing extractions. But it's not something you can learn from watching a video.
Oh yeah.
I just feel strongly you have to have proper training, and so free handling. Now, I also believe that people have gifts, like as far as like one person like can be like just a math, they love numbers. It comes naturally to them. They can calculate it and do it and they're great. Other people languages. Like, some people are gifted with languages. And I think some people have more of a natural ability to like Tom,
Right.
to understand an animal's behavior. And when you can read that, of course it's going to work in your favor. Now, does that mean you should go free handle animals in the wild? I don't think so,
Right.
But we all know ourselves, and I think the danger of it is giving people the impression that,
Oh yeah, yeah. But the thing is, like, I had a couple of monocle cobras in my 30s, right? And I
yes.
wouldn't touch them, right? So my girlfriend was like, "Don't worry, they're devenomized, right?" So I'm like, "I don't trust that, right? Like, let's see." So we called over a friend of mine who had never handled a cobra at all before, but he had the balls to do it, right? So I wasn't going to touch it, but he pinned the snake, right? He somehow pinned it, and we had a little cup with saran wrap wrapped around
That's
it,
all it
right?
takes. Yeah.
And I was like, let's see if we could do it, right? And we put the cup in it. I was holding the cup, and the cobra bit down, and nothing came out, right? And my friend was like, "See, you got nothing to worry about." And I was just thinking, like, but what if, like, maybe the snake just knows that it's a cup, right? And he's like, "I'm not going to waste anything on this. I'm going to wait till I get a chance to bite one of these two motherfuckers here." So I told my friend that, and he started shaking a little bit, right? So the cobra got out a little bit, and he immediately just threw the monocle cobra on the couch, and we ran out of the room. Then we had to pay somebody, a professional, to
To
come
go
back,
collect it.
come in and collect it. Yeah. So yeah, but that was before like Facebook, but that was before social media. So anything I ever did was just like a rumor, right? Like there's no proof of
Until
it.
you confirmed it
I'm
just
forever.
now.
Yeah. But I told the story before. But at least I know I'm safe from my high school days.
Yes. Yeah.
Every dumb thing I did in high school was just
But
a
you're
rumor.
right. I slipped. I slipped while I had a camera. I had a cobra on the hook. And so how we used to do it, right, is the Ray would take the snake, do the extractions, and then while we would fill up one rack on this side of the room, and while
Mhm.
they were in their holding pens, the the bins would all be clean. So it's like however many, 20, 30, whatever. And then when I was first learning, right, I would move them back in to their pit, their normal, um, bin with food. So we put food in there. And at one point, I had the snake on the hook. I hope this doesn't go viral again. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm telling the story. But it's forever memorialized because I busted my ass. I slipped there in the changing of the bedding, the substrate. Chips were all over the floor. And I literally just swing and I busted my ass. The snake hook went flying. Cobra hits the floor like right by my foot. All of it happened like in the blink of an eye. Ray comes over, scoops up, snags it. And I was like, as soon as I saw him out of the corner of my eye, like scooping up the snake, because my first initial reaction is like, holy shit, there's a cobra on the floor. I'm on the floor, get up. And so I started kind of scrambling to get up, and Ray just scooped it up. And that was that. And I will tell you, that real, I've took a lot of shit for it. And of course, everybody's like, oh, you're wearing flip-flops, inappropriate attire. I think I had like a camo, like, I live in t-shirt dresses. I do everything in it, and including extractions. I herp in them, sometimes with the shorts and a tank, or these. I live in these. And unless, of course, I'm like at work. Anyways, and so I took a lot of shit for it, but it's forever memorialized. And, but we were, listen, why it even got posted after the fact, we laughed our asses off in the, like, because Vanessa Crutchfield was there and she said, oh my God, you can put it in slow-mo. So we started watching it in slow-mo and we thought it was kind of funny, but it's just, anyways. And so it got posted. Nobody was injured. Ray swooped in. The snake was fine. He just wanted to get away also, he wasn't interested. He didn't like try to, everyone's always under the impression. But so that's what happened. And so that's out there. And, one day when I'm dead, we're going to be like, she was,
can you imagine Leibowitz was there instead of Ray? The one great thing about Leibowitz, and I want to bring this up because I think this is so funny. He posted another video last week, and it's always funny because people are brutal online, right? And
I can vouch for that.
No, the one thing that I've loved is some girl said, why does this guy always look wet, right? And I'm like, yeah, fucking, this dude is always dripping sweat everywhere, right? So I think that the funniest thing about the Leibowitz thing is, after he said that he couldn't get bit, he went online and asked if anybody had anti-venom, right? And then I think the place in Kansas was like, yeah, we got some, but no, we're not giving it to you. And that was awesome. I thought that was the best.
That was Kentucky Reptile Zoo. That's what I'm saying. Like, he literally started a movement in the venomous community. And I can't tell you how many people were like, hey, I'm going to remove all of my free handling content. I want to do better for the community, because nobody wants to be put in that classification.
Right. Yeah.
And so it actually, and that's what I always try to focus on. Like, I slipped and busted my ass. Guess what we did after that on every extraction Saturday ever after? Right. Immediately before we started putting the snakes back, we swept the whole damn room and made sure it was tip top. There's no wood chips that anybody can slip on. There's no water spilled. Like, that was just a small step, but that was a learn that we had. You should learn from those mistakes. And I feel like the venomous community did learn. And a lot of people said, that's it, no more for me, and people were posting like, I'm just heads up, everybody, I won't be doing that anymore. I want to be a better example, etc. And so you won't be seeing that on my page anymore. And they deleted so much content.
I'm surprised at that, because I'm not worried about a kid seeing Jeff Leibowitz free handle something and get bit, right? I'm worried about a kid seeing Tyler Nolan, who they want to be like, free handles and then gets bit. Like that's the thing that I'm more worried about. No fucking 16-year-old kid is out there being like, I want to be like Jeffrey Leibowitz. Okay.
Probably not, but I would say from Jeffrey's perspective, he probably thinks that he is that type of a role model. But you're absolutely right. That is the danger, right? Is that and again, I go back to my friend that, whose king I held. He knew that snake. And that snake, the movement was different. The cobras that we extract venom from, the monocled cobras, they don't act like any of those little pets. They're
right,
because there are, and again, I always say, like, just like you or me or anybody else on this planet has their own unique personalities, the snakes are no different. Some of them are almost always cranky. Other ones are super laid back and they don't give a crap. You learn those snakes, and that's the thing. Like Tyler, you said, Tyler and his snakes. Like, I'm not saying I encourage it, but he knows his snakes, and letting someone else do that with the snake, maybe not, but putting it on social media, I think that's where the potential for, like, that's the issue that people have. Because what you said, I mean, think of how many people, and I apologize, my Italian hands, right? I talk with them, but admire and love to watch that content, and then try it. And that's the danger. And like I said, Jeffrey did launch an entire campaign unknowingly, but if that's the learning that comes from it, the takeaway that comes from that behavior, that unfortunate incident. And I'll tell you, I was like, man, I hope that this will be like a turning point for him.
He doubled down. That was no turning point. He doubled down.
He did.
That dude there's something wrong with him. But it's still fun to watch. It's like, I'm going to wonder what animal's going to fuck him up this week. Let's just see what's going on. All right.
Yeah. And I think if you have like your perspective, right, where it's entertainment, but it isn't for everybody. There are those people who will watch it and then try, and that's the risk, and that's why there's such a large outcry of no free handling.
Yeah, but I just think that it's like, listen, the shitty venomous keepers, I always say, are gonna weed themselves out because they're just gonna not be fast enough. Okay. And then, they're going to get bit. They're going to die. Listen, it happens. The less people we have, the better in general. Half of the people should walk out to the ocean right now and just kill themselves. I'd be happy with that. Right. 100% happy with that. There's so many morons, but let's get back to you. You're board member on Florida Keepers, right?
I am. Yes. So
tell me about that, but then tell me something that the public really doesn't even know that you're fighting now. Because they probably look at you and say, oh, okay, so they're they're going after wildlife protection and all that other stuff. What's something that you guys do?
For Florida Keepers specifically, you're saying? Oh, well, Florida Keepers, I am on the board. I am relatively new, and literally I've stayed silent in politics in general until they basically, took over the Everglades. And that is, like I said, I've hiked that terrain right where the camp is.
Call coming in.
Yes, right. Thank you. Sorry. Right. It used to be open to the public. I've hiked there. I love that terrain. And so I was like, man, I need to do something. And I just kind of, it was the comment of Governor DeSantis where he was like, zero impact. And I was like, zero impact my ass. And so I said, I'm going to go drive down there and just catalog the dead animals. And I did, and I made a reel, and it just kind of picked up traction. And then I was like, oh my God. And I reached out to Sergey, like, what can we do? He's the founder of Florida Keepers. And it's just really a group of like-minded in the sense that, like, I don't care. I don't care if you're, male, female, black, white, yellow, straight, gay, whatever. Who gives a crap? Republican, Democrat, none of that matters. Like, we care about conserving the land, right? And that spoke to my heart, because I started making those reels just as like an outcry, like, oh my gosh, and it just kind of found my people by doing that. When you're passionate about something, you find your people, you find your tribe. And all of that to say that what the ultimate goal of, there's a rock mine. They're trying to put just, my other stomping grounds. So some of the WMAs right close by me, and they're trying to put a rock mine there and mine it and literally create the big quarry, the cavity in the earth. And they want to use it for something like 34 years, and then eventually use it as a water reservoir right next to another water reservoir. The whole thing's bonkers. Anyways, and also the development you were talking about, you'd rather, again, not develop protected land. And where they are trying to develop is like where we have historically is along the coastlines, in the outer edges and stuff. But we're encroaching further inland, and they are putting their eyes. If you remember the whole big pickleball fiasco from the parks that last year, earlier this year, whenever it was, seems like it was yesterday. All of that, and it is to just fight those instances, right? Trying to educate the public and speak up, contact the commissioners, contact those that are making these decisions, and have a positive impact to protect that land for all of these, native species. Florida's already lost, I think it's more than one hand's worth of native species. We don't have any more. And the panthers on the line, we've got the eastern indigo. I mean, so many of the flamingos attempting, they said to, we've seen a few inland here and there, depending on storms.
They need the flamingos, really. I mean, like
Florida without flamingos, we don't have they're no longer, we don't have native populations, only at zoos. At any rate, but we do we need more buildings? Do we need more developments? No. Do we need a rock mine? So, it's just about preserving the land, especially its protected land. The absurdity of it all is, the Florida Environmental Protection Agency itself is the very, and we won't even talk about the FWC. They are historically consultants and or developers and or real estate. They're all developers. Their entire goal is to develop Florida, and that's benefiting individuals. They're the ones that are lining their pockets, profiting from that, and it's the people who love Florida, and the animals, the native terrain, the native animals, the wildlife, and anyone who does and enjoys anything outdoors that's losing.
They're encroaching on my skunk ape's home. Okay.
Yes. Right? He needs that land.
He needs all the area he could get. Filomena, hold on 1 second. We're going to pay some more bills. Listen, I don't know who hasn't heard it tonight, but Charlie dropped a fucking bomb. Okay. And he cut the prices in half for shed testing. So, I mean, you could add jeans for $5 fucking now. It used to be 20. Okay. Shedtesting.com. I mean, they're about to take over the world with these prices. So go check out shedtesting.com. If you use the code FATMAN15, you'll get 15% off these new prices for tonight only. Okay. Right. For tonight only. I'm making a call. Charlie didn't tell me what to say tonight. So yeah. Fatman15, you'll get 15% off the new prices of shed testing. Send them in to Charlie. All right. Well, let's see. We got one more video ad we got to play here. Then we'll be back with Filomena.
At Recoil Reptiles, we understand your reptiles deserve the best. That's why we create custom CNC reptile enclosures with precision cuts, built to last and designed to showcase your scaly friends in style. With over a decade of experience, we craft enclosures up to 8 feet long, tailored to fit your needs and the needs of your animals. Whether you're a hobbyist or a breeder, we've got you covered with enclosures that are as unique as your reptiles. And we deliver to shows in Texas, Louisiana, and Oklahoma. Recoil Reptiles, custom precision, built for your reptiles, built to last. Visit recoilreptiles.com today to design your perfect enclosure or call 405-999-7175.
All right, we're back with Filomena. The last thing I want to touch on, all right, you have a sister with Down syndrome, and
Yes,
you said, let's save this. We were talking about it a little bit backstage. Let's save this for the show, all right? So talk to me about that, because we have slightly different ideas on what inclusivity means.
Sure.
And I think that when you're in that position, and I could say this now that I have only one leg, you want people to treat you like everybody else.
100%.
Okay. Go ahead now. Go ahead.
Yeah. So my baby sister does have Down syndrome, and my parents are immigrants, and so I advocated for her throughout my life. I'm the person who taught her how to read. Summer before 6th grade, it was my goal. So I did school with her every day or so, whatever, and would do problems and whatever, and work with her. And I taught her how to read that summer. And then as I got older, it was, she was going to join Special Olympics. And I got gung ho, super involved in that. And I've coached. I was head of delegations for the district back in Texas. I coached every sport under the sun, because the more that I did, the more my parents were comfortable, right, letting her go to all these events, because special. Then when I left Texas, I moved to Oregon. I coached Special Olympics in Oregon. In Florida, when I moved here, I became a certified volunteer. I haven't done much with it. COVID hit right afterwards, so I haven't. I'm not coaching anymore, but I'm still. I'm a volunteer, so I could go to events and help there. So I feel strongly about like inclusion. And again, this is where I think all of this is part of, like, I grew up different. My parents, we were different growing up because my parents were from the US. They're from Italy. And my sister has Down syndrome. And so I'm all for the underdog. And so that's why, like, I accept people, for who they are. I don't give two shits. I love people, and I think that that's also why I also love the animals that I love. We had crazy collection back in the day. My husband and I back in Texas, we had like so many reptiles. We even had a caiman alligator, and he built this elaborate greenhouse, like a crankshaft roof and misters and all this crap. At any rate, and we were always like those weird people, right? Like, oh my God. But I taught back then, and the kids loved it. They wanted me to bring in the, iguanas and, all these other weird animals that we had at the time, like sugar gliders and all that stuff. At any rate, I say all that to say, I feel like, having grown up with someone in my family, with Down syndrome, someone who, she's my favorite person in the world. I love her to bits. And kind of gave me that tendency to love and stand up for the underdog, right? I feel like it also fueled my passion for, like I said, reptiles, snakes, all that stuff. They're not accepting of it. At any rate, inclusivity, in my perspective, because as I was saying, I taught my sister to read summer before 6th grade. And I used to attend every 3 years, you have to have what's called an arrival review and dismissal committee meeting to set goals for any students with disabilities. You build them like an IEP, individual education plan, all this stuff, set goals and make sure that they're meeting them. And I would go to those meetings with my parents, and translate a lot of times, and help explain things. And at one of those meetings, my sister was in middle school, and her English teacher stated that because at that point inclusion is in place, and whereas children with prior disabilities would have to go only to like a special ed classroom, at that time they were doing inclusion. So my sister got to go to regular ed English class, and the teacher had asked for a volunteer to read a segment aloud, and my sister raised her hand, and the teacher, in the middle of the 3-year arrival review and dismissal committee meeting, said that she was surprised to see my sister raise her hand. She did not know that she could read, and she called on my sister, and my sister did read the passage. And that is the purpose of inclusion, in my opinion. First of all, the teacher should have known. There's no reason for her teacher not to know she can read. She was in middle school at that time. And the fact that, getting them out there into, like, they should be able to go wherever we go, to do whatever we do. Like, there's no limits. I follow several social media personalities with Down syndrome. One of them is a business owner, and I love her. And I have some of her t-shirts. She does art paintings, and she has her own business. And then she puts them on t-shirts and bags and all this stuff. And God, I cannot think of her page's name right now. And then there's also two guys with Down syndrome that I follow. And they do like dancing reels and stuff.
Oh, is that the Asian kid and the other? They did the Star Wars. Man, I love them. They did the thing with Theo Vaughn.
Yes,
Yeah,
they're phenomenal.
Yeah,
and so, like, then they're capable and they're able. There's a car wash here right down the road for me. I get my car wash there almost exclusively, unless I'm not in the area, because they only hire people with disabilities, autism, and it's for autism support. They can be business owners. They can, be social media personalities. They can do anything and everything we can do. And that's the value of inclusivity, in my opinion. But I know that you go ahead and express your.
Well, I'm just like tough love. I'm just like, just fucking figure it out. I got a couple of friends with Down syndrome, and I never treated them special. I'm never like, oh, let me open that soda can for you. I'm like, open your own fucking soda can, right? Like, but I just think, because you keep going back to the Special Olympics thing, that Shane Gillis joke, because he's a comedian, right? If you don't know him, but he opened up a coffee shop where they just hire kids with Down syndrome or people.
Oh, I think I've seen that. Okay.
And he was like, the Special Olympics is a great thing, but can you imagine the guy that pitched that? Like, he's at the board meeting and he's just like, all right, I got an idea. Like, we're going to get them all together. Okay. Then we're going to get them to fall into a pool together, and call it diving. Okay. And I just, every Down syndrome person that I know, never been sad. Okay. When they're mad, they're only mad for like 8 or 10 seconds. And then they curse the person out, which is the funniest shit that you've ever seen in your life. If you've never seen a Down syndrome kid curse out fucking like a full-grown adult, okay. And like I was telling you, the first guy that I met with Down syndrome just stood, like, when we were kids, we were at a beach or a beach club, and he just got up in like the 3-foot section of the pool and just pulled his dick out and started peeing. And right there, I was like, yo, I need to be friends with this guy forever. And I'm still friends with him now. Like, fucking, so I'm very like, I would have cursed out the teacher, because I would have been like, of course I could fucking read. Like, how do you think I got this far or in the school that you teach it, But I think it's interesting that you're doing that. And I do some shit with limb loss people, and it's a weird feeling you get, because I never wanted to help out dudes that got their legs chopped off before, but once I got my leg chopped off, I was just like, all right, I think I could do a little bit.
I can help out. Yeah.
So
I mean, and that's the thing. Some people don't. I mean, you don't know till you do. And so, and it's something that has shaped my life. I wouldn't be who I am today without my sister. I wouldn't. I don't think I would give a shit about, half the stuff I do,
Right.
so it's,
Yeah. Oh.
and I would say, even with, I've even worked, I've worked as a volunteer for two different organizations that like feed the homeless, like I'm like very volunteer oriented, seemingly just kind of looking back. I don't think I've realized that or would pinpoint that about myself, but I would attribute that to because of my experience of having my
Right.
sister.
Right. Yeah, I don't
Such
give a shit. I really, I'm like, you can find somebody better, like just do it. Filomena, knowing
yes.
that this audience was mostly ball python people,
Yes.
how could they get in touch with you, and do you want them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, you guys can get in touch with me. Look, we've had our fair share. My daughter, my oldest daughter, who now lives in Nevada, she lives in Vegas, and I have some real squeako herping. She loves the outdoors. Just most of my girls do. My youngest, sometimes, but my two older daughters do. You can reach out to me on social media. Feeling all right. I do have a YouTube. I do also like ultimately. I'll say this as well. We've had my ultimate goal in life is to be the first ever woman owned Venom line. I'll definitely not the first woman to do extractions, Bill Haas, his daughters, they started the King Cobra Conservancy. They've done extractions. There's tons of women that do extractions, but I don't believe any of them, to our knowledge, like I've chatted with a few people, have ever been women owned. And so that's my ultimate goal. But so I love people. I love the community. I've already said all that. So you guys can reach out anytime. You can,
Well,
so.
Shauna just put the Instagram link up.
Oh,
So
thanks.
everybody go follow. All right. Filomena.
And
Filomena.
Shauna is amazing also. I love her. And thank you guys for inviting me. I actually really enjoyed this. And I do like every time you cut to commercial break, it's like, yeah, it's like all the commercials have great music, even like leading up into it. I loved it. It was a really great, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. So
I
thank you.
know. I was gonna make a pop the podcast cherry joke, but trying to keep it respectful. Okay, just trying.
It is popped. It is popped. It was a really great experience. I really enjoyed it. So thank you for having me and thinking of me. And Shauna, thank you also for always. She's so super supportive. I love her. She's amazing. And just thank you guys for really the reptile community in general has been very welcoming because like I said, it all kind of happened on accident. I've had reptiles, my brothers and I used to catch garter snakes back in the day in Texas, so we were like doing this shit since we were little horny toads, that's what we called them back in Texas. And so it's different. I don't know, it kind of blew up, and I've met and amazing people and had amazing experiences through it, and this is one of those. So thank you for it.
Oh, I'm glad. But just so you know, there's so many assholes in this community.
You don't have to tell me that. Listen, I get the messages. Let me say this while we're on that. Do not message if all you want to say is like, hey, baby, I hate that shit. I had people, I literally turned off video calls because I was getting calls in the middle of the night, like video conferencing calls on Messenger. I was like,
I was gonna ask you, like, fucking, how many, on average, dick pics do you get a week?
So I feel like I was getting a lot more, but I feel like I'm, and I'm not. Listen, I am a welcoming person as far as like I don't think I'm standoffish. Yeah, like I'm talking about, and it's always from randos that I don't know,
Yeah, that's how I do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and my feet get a lot of comments too. I shouldn't have said that.
Listen, you could have great feet, but feet are the ugliest part of the body.
Like, yeah,
cool.
It's pretty wild out there, and I don't like it, and I pretty much just block right away, so I don't have to deal with it, So
hold on a second. I'm taking you off my dick pic list for tonight.
Asshole.
So
I also worked in the tech industry, you know, and all of it. The reptile industry is a male dominated industry, you know. So all of that, I'm thick skinned. Like I think I had said, it might have been when we were backstage, right? You don't grow up with like a little sister with Downs, and everyone thinks like, oh, charmed life and all, you know, like, no, I've been through some shit, you know. It's like I just don't put up with it. So I have thick skin, you know what I mean? And
well, that just shows the difference between the women and men, right? Like I would never be like, oh, all these goddamn titty pictures. Fuck, I hate it. You know,
but it's
like,
all in the approach. I can't say that enough. You know, nobody's out there like literally trying to date. They're just being, you know, vulgar.
But you know why they're doing that? Because somewhere in history that worked for somebody. That worked for one guy. And that's why they keep doing it. Keep doing it. The hope.
They need a new playbook. I'm here to tell you. New playbook.
Right.
Yeah.
Filomena, thank you so much. Just hop backstage for 5 minutes. I'll be right there.
Yes, sir. I will be there.
All right.
Thank
Feeling
you.
all right.
Thanks, everyone. Feeling all right. Facebook, YouTube. I got them all. So
yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Follow Filomena. All right, guys. Hold on.
Bye, Shauna.
All right, let's get back up to the big picture here because I know all you people are still here because you want to see this, okay? All of this. Anyway, listen, go out and buy a fucking sea serpent's rack or a sea serpent's incubator. I was just with Chris last weekend or maybe the weekend before that. I don't remember. But he came all the way up to Gettysburg from Florida. This guy drove all the way up to Gettysburg to vend the Gettysburg show. This guy has been around for 20 years. He doesn't have to drive up to a show 1,400 miles away to vend, but he still does it. And he still does it because he loves his customers. And I love Chris. All right. So go pick up a sea serpent's rack or incubator today. I'm just seeing. Okay. All right. So like I said, we got a lot of shit going on. Well, we're going to go to Camp Freedom this month, and we're going to drop off the check. And $7,200 we raised for disabled vets. And that's all because of you guys, okay? So thank you to everybody who bought a shirt or donated to that campaign. We're going to be going to Canada in September. I'm going to be at Tinley in October. Then I'm going to be at Gettysburg again in November. So thank you guys for sticking around. Again, join the Patreon if you feel like laughing. Don't join the Patreon if you're like ball python life, man. No, it's not about that, okay? So hop on the Patreon. You'll laugh a little bit. You'll hear some stories. You'll learn some history of the business. And, yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys Sunday. And for the Fat Man Live Hot Girls episode. So take it easy, everyone.